Buddy, it's Mark again, and I'm fixing to surprise a friend of mine, and I want to talk about my friend. I talk about the 6 foot rule all the time, where if you can repair a clock, and as long as nobody gets closer than 6 feet, it looks good. But if you want a clock that you want to be able to show off, and it's got some damage to it, then you can contact Steve Faler. He's a very talented man. And there are certain clocks that you can't find parts to it anymore. For example, a Smeckenbecker Cathedral clock or a Church of Our Lady clock, they're selling for around $1,000. But some of them don't have a pendulum. So not having the original style pendulum will hurt the value of that clock. Well, Steve taught art school for many years, and he can make a pendulum for you for certain types of clocks. He can make those things, and he's a very talented man. And I'm surprised. I'm surprising him, and he's walking out here now. And we're going to show you some of his talent. And this is my buddy Steve Faler. And I'm going to leave at the end of this video what his profile page on Facebook looks like. And he brought a topper that he's in the process of working on. And, with his work, you don't have to worry about the 6 foot rule. You can allow people to come up to the item and show it off and be proud of it, because the man is very talented. I wish I had just 1/5 of the talent that he has when it comes to carving wood. And like I said, there's a guy in the group that got a Smeckenbecker Cathedral clock that was missing a pendulum, and he wanted a pendulum, and he's like, "Mark, will you sell me your pendulum?" I'm like, "Yeah." "How much?" "$600. He's like, "Why $600? I'm like, "Well, because that's how much I want for my clock." And so, if you take my pendulum away, it's going to hurt the value of my clock. Well, Steve, being an artist and teaching art school, he made a pendulum for that clock, and you cannot tell the difference. It looks like, what's that, Memorax, the cassette tape?
Live or Memorax.
Live or Memorax, right. And so he's a very talented person. I advertise for him all the time because I want people to contact him. I want his backlog to be at least a year. I want him to stay busy, doing stuff that he loves. And look at this topper.
That's maple.
You do not have to worry about the 6 foot rule with this thing. I couldn't make this thing. And, there's where he's marked it, and he's carving it out, and look at this side over here. And he's just a very talented person. God blesses people with certain tasks. The Bible says that God blesses people. Steve has been blessed with artistic talents, and I just love his work. And so if you have a topper or a pendulum or a clock that has broken, he doesn't do any lathe work. He's a carver, and he will match the colors to your clock. I show off my Alexander Bleed clock all the time. The horns on that clock, I just recently seen a Alexander Bleed clock, not in person, but on a site, and the horns on that clock, there's a big difference from the horns on that clock versus the horns on my clock. If I was to throw them out in the woods, you would think that a deer shed their horns. They are very, very realistic. So contact Steve through Facebook you know, like I said, I will leave what his profile page looks like. Send him a message. Send me a message, and I will forward him the message. And he will. You will not be disappointed with his work. Like I said, you can show that clock off. You don't have to worry about the 6-foot rule, the 3-foot rule. You can let people get right up close and personal. You know, I tell you all the time, if they get closer than 6 feet, they need to be buying the clock. But with Steve's work, you can let them touch it, see it, feel it. The man is very talented. I can't believe the talent that you have, Steve. You're very talented. And see all the dust he's got all over his shirt? I called him up and said, hey, I'm stopping by. And he told me he was working on this topper. If you put a couple drops of blood on that eagle, it'd probably fly away. You're a very talented person, Steve. God bless you with lots of talent. I'm still trying to figure out what God blessed me with. So anyway, contact Steve. Flood his mailbox with work. And may God bless each and every one of you. Now this is Steve Faler's Facebook profile. So you look for that guy, you contact him, message him, or you can message me and I will message him. The guy is talented. So if you have a clock that you want to get repaired, the case, the pendulum, the topper, whatever, and you want to show it off, and you want to show it off so well that people can actually touch it and not see any discrepancies, contact Steve.